It's hard to go wrong with Donkey Kong. Coming January 16th, you can enjoy playing as Donkey and Diddy Kong as you strive to get the bananas back from the Tiki Tak clan. Donkey Kong Country Returns has an 8.6 on Metacritic and a lot of good things to be said from people we know that have played it. So with this HD remake coming to Nintendo Switch, we're excited to give it a try. This classic 2D platformer will be playable in co-op with a single pair of Joy-Cons, which is a pretty common question that we get, so that's a bonus in our book. The remake also introduces a modern mode that starts you off with more hearts and more inventory space for those players who don't want to deal with the unforgiving game mechanics of the past. So get ready to collect bananas, spell out Kong, and explore the jungles, ruins, and beaches of Donkey Kong Island. There are brand new video games released every single year, and some of them are absolutely fantastic, but we don't care about all those today because we're specifically looking at the couch co-op games we can look forward to in 2025. Overcooked has inspired so many games over the years, but rarely do they get sequels. Let's Cook Together 2 is an excellent looking follow-up to the cooking show themed original. This time, living in a world that is forced to eat a disgusting NutriPaste, you will need to relearn how to cook 65 delicious meals and work your way through more than 250 levels. The game features some fun throwing mechanics, supports up to 4 players, and there are different kitchen layouts depending on the amount of players that you have. We love these cooking games as a staple of cooperative, hectic fun. And this one looks a cut above some of the others that we've seen over the years. It'll be released on all consoles come February 6th. Bite Bond is planned to be released in Q1. This is a very interesting puzzle game that has 2 energy transferring robots working together to progress through the computer-based levels. Each of these little BB-8 robots boasts energy-based powers that will transform them into Big Weld from one of my favorite movies, Robots. The puzzles revolve around collecting energy and then pushing it into a device to activate it. But since you get bigger as you take on more energy, you have to work together by passing energy through pipes, or conduits, probably. You may also need to weigh down platforms or push blocks around to solve puzzles, but while you're doing all that, you'll also face off against dastardly enemies that you will have to work together to zap away. There are multiple biomes or components of the computer to explore, and it's just a lot of fun to play. Sadly, it's only planned for Steam right now, but we can cross our fingers that it makes its way to consoles at some point. I played Slime Heroes at PAX West, and it is near the top of my most anticipated list. The game recently got announced to be coming to Switch on top of its original planned Xbox and PC releases. On February 13th, we will get to experience this adorable Souls-like game. Yes, that's right, this game may look cutesy, but it packs a punch. But it also has a lot of accessibility settings to help make the game your own, and just the right difficulty for you. The game is filled with fun puzzle dungeons to explore and so many abilities to unlock and mix and match in ways that will make them totally unique. There are secret passages to find, an open world to explore, and it is filled with a variety of enemies to defeat with challenging boss fights to top it off. The most exciting game on this list was just revealed at the Game Awards. Split Fiction is a co-op only game from the creators of It Takes Two. This game features 2 authors who accidentally get put into the same simulation together. This ends up combining their science fiction and fantasy worlds, so you'll play levels that swap between the 2 genres and introduce mechanics that continue to develop as you play. From freshly hatched dragons to medium-sized dragons to full-grown dragons that will absolutely destroy anything in their path. The game features the same permanent split screen as It Takes Two, as well as the free Friends Pass so you can play online after only purchasing 1 copy of the game. Hazelight is a master of creating cooperative experiences that feel fresh and actually have you working together. The game will be released on March 6th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, and you can bet your bottom dollar that we will be there. It's hard to say what genre this will really fall in, since Hazelight is sure to constantly introduce new mechanics that entirely change up the gameplay. Things start getting a little foggier from here as we move on to some games that will most likely release in 2025, but we don't have a solid release date for them. Let me introduce you to another pair of adorable robots with Biped 2. These cutesy little robots come from one of the best co-op games we have ever played. Sadly, we do not have any actual gameplay footage of Biped 2 other than some GIFs or GIFs on the Steam page. So what you're looking at is mostly just footage of the first game. Biped 2 is planned to come to all consoles in Q2 of 2025. This game is all about controlling the two little legs of these robots individually, one after the other using your joysticks, just like you're learning to walk for the first time. The sequel will introduce some new ways of moving like hang gliders and grappling hooks, or you might combine your robots together to build a pair of arms and legs to solve some puzzles. On top of that, there is a new 4-player mode, and you can customize your bots with fancy hats. I honestly can't wait to play this unique puzzle platformer because I loved the first one. Weeniewise is an interesting game that will support local co-op, but will also come with a Friends Pass similar to Split Fiction to play online with your co-op partner. You're on a quest to stop the sorceress Ragna from annihilating humankind. There are creatures you'll have to hide from, escape or fight, 4 seals to collect, and a magic stone to give you new abilities. It looks like fun, and we always love games that are designed specifically for co-op, so go show them some love with a wishlist. It is planned to release on Steam in 2025. Towerborn looks like a very promising hack and slash beat 'em up style of game. You play as an ace born to protect the people of the Belfry. You can play with up to 3 friends as you venture into the world to defeat monsters and return to the Belfry for completed quests and to reforge weapons. There are different weapons to find and mix and match to make your character and style completely your own. The game is intended to have a continuing storyline as more seasons release. It is currently in early access on Steam, but a 2025 release will bring it to the Xbox Series consoles. This next game is all about supporting a struggling content creator and his son and wife who are constantly forced to play video games with him so that he can bring you this content. Wait, that's just my life. But seriously guys, it would mean so much to us if you helped support the channel by becoming part of the co-op crew at thecoopstop.com/support. I hope you guys decide to come over there. We have a bunch of fantastic bonuses for you, and you can support for as little as $1 a month. If these videos have helped your family out, your friends out, then consider helping us out. We love you guys. Let's move on. From this point on, we move into the abyss of games that have no date at all. We're gonna look at a couple of games that we expect to come in 2025, but haven't actually been confirmed. Corridon is an action RPG that lets you shapeshift into a variety of beasts you encounter throughout your journey. The transitions between forms are incredibly smooth. Your character doesn't pause or stop their actions, he just slightly slows just a little bit as he transitions. One unique aspect is that when one player transforms into a beast and another stays human, the human player can ride on their back, making traversal faster and more dynamic. As you progress, you'll unlock skills and choose between 4 classes. Another standout feature is that each player has their own dedicated menu that occupies a quarter of the screen. So when one of you pauses, it doesn't cause everybody else a problem like, oh, now I have to wait for you to go through all of your stuff. The other players can actually keep on playing. The game supports up to 4 players and was slated for a Q4 2024 release on Steam, but it didn't happen, so I did get a confirmation from the publisher this morning that we should probably see it pretty soon here. Big Helmet Heroes is a visually stunning 3D beat 'em up that features 4 distinct classes to choose from. You can play as the warrior, the brute, the rogue, or the monk. Each of those will have their own unique charm, not to mention their own magic abilities that will help you to demolish enemies or obstacles in your way. The game actually reminds me of a far more visually stunning Castle Crashers, as you play as Big Helmet Heroes, a feature that both games prominently feature. And you work your way through creative levels. There's literally a level that's made of an electric guitar. There are tons of enemy heads to bash, and these boss fights look like a ton of fun. The game was planned to release in 2024. We don't have a new release date yet, but it did recently get some new trailers, which I think is a good sign. It will be available on all platforms and support 1 to 2 players. We've had banger after banger on this list, but Poppycom probably falls only behind Split Fiction on my hype meter. I played this game at PAX West and more recently checked out the Steam demo during Next Fest. This is a 3D puzzle platformer that brings in elements of FPS games and Match 3 games. It is a wild combination of genres, but it works. It continually introduces fun new mechanics like shields you can use to block barriers of your color, or little robots you can use to help you move heavy or out of reach objects. The game is filled with colorful enemies that you'll have to shoot with the right color. The trick is that each player gets to swap between 2 colors, and that's the color you'll shoot. Then you get to the fact that you have to get 3 blobs of the same color to come together, and there are some really interesting boss fights where you might end up making them bigger rather than smaller. Right now the game has no release date but is planned for PlayStation and PC. I've only ever played it with 2 players, but the PlayStation listing claims that it will support 4. Now for a couple of rapid shots in the dark of games that we hope to see in 2025. Never Alone 2 got a teaser trailer in April 2024. We played the first game and really enjoyed it. The new game is going to be 3D where the first was 2D. It is meant to be played in co-op as Nuna and her fox. The game has a story written by an award-winning writer that will take you through an Alaskan journey and all that comes with it. We have no release date yet and it has only been confirmed for PC, but since the first game was available on all platforms, we can cross our fingers that this one will be too. I love the look of Undermine 2. This is an action roguelike game that takes all of the best bits from the original game and smashes them together with the addition of 2-player co-op. And some other new features, of course. There are new skills to have, characters to play as, and adventures to explore in the Undermine. The game has only been confirmed for PC, but the first one was available everywhere, so again, we can assume this one will be as well. My hopes that Toxic Crusaders will ever be released are dwindling, but it looks great. If you enjoyed TMNT Shredder's Revenge, then you might want to take a look at this one. You can play with up to 4 players with 7 characters to choose from, each with their own fighting style. The game continues the story that was left abandoned when season 2 of the show did not happen. It has fully voice-acted motion comic cutscenes and will be available anywhere you play games. That is, if it ever releases, because I believe that it was supposed to release in 2023. Stage Fright was announced at the Game Awards without a release date, so it's a stretch to say we will see it in 2025, but you never know. This is a cooperative mystery escape room game from the creators of Overcooked, and it looks great. Though we actually have very little gameplay right now, we'll keep an eye on this one because all of these games are incredibly exciting, but I bet you haven't played all of the best couch co-op games of 2024, so click on this playlist to go check them out. You're gonna find something you'll love, I promise. Can't wait to see you over there. Love you guys. Y'all are awesome.